Hey guys, what is up? Underdog here, bringing you something a little different this time. First off, I'm recording this on my phone while I'm on my way to work, so if this I have not tested the quality from my phone on my voice recorder to a file on my computer, so I don't know if it's going to sound good, if it's going to sound really bad, but we're going to give it a try. So if it sounds all messed up, I apologize in advance. I am going to try something a little different here. I don't want to keep this channel just strictly like a gaming channel. I want to make it with vlogs and a couple other things. I might start uploading some bowling videos that I've been editing from tournaments and a couple other things, but I don't want to keep it strictly just a gaming channel. I want to make it a couple different things. But anyway, I'm going to get into what this video is about, and I am going to start doing, I am a pretty big WWE fan, so after each episode of Raw, SmackDown, and then TNA that's on Thursdays, the day after or 2 days after, I'm going to post a review on each episode. I'm going to try to anyway, along with posting my gaming videos and a couple other things that I've got in mind. But anyway, and I'm going to get into this very quickly as soon as I make this right-hand turn. But for the first video of this, or vlog, or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to talk about last week's episode of Raw, and it is currently June 19th. I am recording this, so Raw was about a week ago. It is the Raw before the pay-per-view of the capital punishment that is actually going to be starting in about roughly 4 or 5, in about 4 hours it'll start, so let's go right into this. Now, first off, Raw was the 3-hour All-Star episode last Monday night, and I was actually looking forward to seeing how this episode would be after how horrid the last episode was 2 weeks ago. But of course, the WWE All-Star Game, I think that was a whole way to try to sell the game a bit better by naming this episode All-Stars. By every time they'd show a match that was coming up, preview a match, they would use the game graphics from the WWE All-Star Game. So I thought it was kind of creative, but you can tell that WWE and I believe THQ is the publisher for the game might not be doing that well by marketing the game after it's been out about 2 months now. I still haven't even tried the game yet, so that pretty much sums that up. But anyway, first off, we got Austin is the GM, and they first announced that he's booked a match for Cena versus CM Punk for the main event, which that was actually, I believe, the first thing that they said that night. And first off, we got Miz. That Miz comes out, and they replay last week when Miz was screwed by Austin when he was the referee, and I believe it was don't believe exactly what the match was. It was about a good week ago. I think it was Cena and Riley tag teamed against Miz and somebody else. And then Miz comes out, starts ranting and raving about that, about how Austin screwed him over, even though the anonymous Raw GM that they really need to do something about that comes out, and he actually reversed the rules and made it a disqualification towards Cena, and I'm pretty sure it was Cena and Riley, because Austin interfered in the match when he was the referee, and he should be unbiased in that way. But anyway, moving on here, Miz started talking himself up about how he's the greatest WWE superstar of all time, about how he's better than everyone, blah, 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 blah. And then he starts talking Alex Riley down by saying, "I'm going to expose you more than a tweet from Anthony Weiner. The crowd started the what chant, eventually. And Miz says that was cool back in 2001. I thought that was actually somewhat funny. Miz was actually kind of rolling that night. And then glass shatters and out comes Austin. So actually a pretty big pop. Classic Austin just shutting Miz up left and right. Miz just couldn't do anything. And then later on, Austin books a Piper's Pit, so we'll see the appearance of Roddy Piper in this episode. But he booked the Piper's Pit, for Miz and Riley. What else do I got here? I had to write some of this down because I didn't remember it, and it's kind of hard to drive and read at the same time. Yeah, I have to wait for stoplights. lot easier. I'm kind of running early for work anyway, so I can take a break here. But anyway, as I said, Austin books a Piper Stick with Miz and Riley, and then all of a sudden, Miz kind of goes out the back, and then Del Rio comes out trying to start shit with Austin, but he shut up Del Rio pretty quickly, and then he goes ahead, and Austin goes ahead and books the opening match, Del Rio versus Kane. First thought when I saw it was going to be a setup for Big Show, since Big Show's going to be out for a while still. Of course, this was at this time when this first happened. I kind of like how they just got the Kane getting to him now, considering that Kane is a SmackDown superstar. But it was actually a very short match. I think it lasted like 3 or 4 minutes. Kane ended up winning that match by disqualification because Del Rio would not break the cross arm breaker with intentions of trying to break Kane's arm. And all of a sudden, Big Show's music hits, and out pops Big Show. I thought this was kind of weird considering he just got hit by a car, 3-4 weeks ago? 3 weeks when this was aired, 4 weeks ago by the time you guys are actually listening to this. And he actually beat the living hell out of Ricardo Rodriguez. He actually beat him up so far to the point that they had to bring out the paramedics. It looked like he was really hitting him, although I'm sure it was all show, as always with the WWE. And Big Show got somewhat revenge here. And let's see, and Austin announces Ed's Capital Punishment Big Show versus Del Rio, where I'm going to guess, after seeing SmackDown this week, where Big Show was unable to once again get his hands on Del Rio, that Big Show will probably beat the living hell out of Alberto Del Rio. I really hope that will break this feud, because they really need to start pushing Del Rio here, because he's kind of just, he's just flapping on the breeze at Raw. They need to push him more. They need to give him some sort of a title shot, even if it's just the, USA title, or whatever kind of small title. And then hopefully they'll build him up to the WWE champion, which leads me to my, the next category. I'm not even going to talk about I'll get into that towards the end. But the next match ended up that night being the tag team match between Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, and Wade Barrett versus Daniel Bryan, Sin Cara, and Ezekiel Jackson. Sin Cara, they really gotta tell him enough's enough. He screwed up at least once or twice in every match I have seen him in. And in this match, Bryan, Sin Cara, and Jackson ended up beating Rhodes, DiBiase, and Barrett by I think it was a crossbody splash or something like that from Sin Cara, which just happened to knock out Wade Barrett for the 3 count, which I thought was kind of dumb. But hey, what are you gonna do about that? But after that, I believe it went to commercial. Mind you, all of these matches up until the main event between Cena and Punk lasted no longer than 5 minutes, which I thought was kind of dumb considering it was a 3-hour show and they had plenty of time to fill the matches up with at least make matches 10 minutes. Come on, it can't be that hard. But heading into the next segment, it was Santino versus Sheamus, and that was just really a time filler. I didn't understand the point of it. Santino actually hit the Cobra on Sheamus, but Sheamus kicked out of it and gave him, I believe it was the boot to the face. I can't quite remember. But Sheamus ended up winning with the 3 count. And there were a lot of Ryder chants during this, a lot of Zack Ryder chants during this match. There were a lot of Zack Ryder signs out there tonight. WWE really has to start pushing Zack Ryder more, in my opinion. I mean, if they could have Santino and Coswell be the comedic relief here, I don't see why they can't have Zack Ryder being pushed a bit more here and give him some few matches instead of just keeping him on Superstars or whatever that show's called. That I never watched. But anyway, after that, Orton came out and demanded that Christian would come out here and confront him because Orton was pissed after the concussion that he suffered from Sheamus the week before in SmackDown. And remember, we do have SmackDown Superstars because this is WWE Raw All-Stars episode. So we had both Raw and SmackDown members out here for the show. And Orton went on and on.